Good morning, everybody. Oh, coffee is good this morning. Yes, it was a beautiful sunrise this morning. Of course, sitting in my living room. I can't see it real well because I live in town, at least for now. Well, I'm sure y'all might be getting tired of me talking about it because it seems like that's my only focus these days is talking about moving. Well, it's very exciting, and that is my main focus these days. When you have so much to do. Sorry about that. I keep wanting to adjust my table, and it's like that affects the camera that is in my computer, and it's like, okay. Anyways, yeah, that is my main focus. I have been managing to pack at least one box a day, but usually more like two, three, even four boxes a day, depending. I just packed up some more books yesterday, and I think there was three boxes. How many books there are? Well, I guess there's three people in here. And I mean, they're not huge boxes. Okay, you can't see my hands, but they're not huge boxes. Not for books. No, I'm keeping books in small boxes. Okay, moved before, and my husband packed books in huge boxes. It's like, no, the boxes end up falling apart. It's like, no, no. So I'm doing most of the packing. Okay, I've got his books packed in nice small boxes that are not going to kill my back. So, yeah. Dizzy said she was going to try and remember to wake up with me this morning, but I don't see her here yet. Oh, that coffee's good. Oh, it's just hitting the spot this morning. Well, one thing that I have been doing besides um, packing is thinking about what we're moving to. Um, I've got, okay, I don't know how well this is going to, I've made this floor plan here, okay, kind of what I want to do. Okay, this part here is the main building that we're getting. This is a porch, okay? And at some point, what I want to do is I want to add on this big back room, okay? This wall here will be a solid wall with maybe the possibility of a couple of small windows in it. But this wall and this wall will be glass. You know those doors that are glass from top to bottom? That's kind of what I want to get with having one door on each side that actually open up. Might have more than one to open up, but have it screened so that I can open up and not worry about bugs for air circulation. So, and this here, no, this one here, that will be a covered porch because this is going to be the parking area. Okay. So this will be a covered porch so that my dad can easily come in, doesn't have to walk far in bad weather to get into the house. Okay. Now, this building here is coming with only a 12-foot loft, only one end. Okay. And stairs going up. Thankfully, my father won't have to use the stairs because the stairs are not that great. The ones that it comes with, they can be improved on, but they're not that great. So I'm going to extend the loft the full length. And I was pricing material yesterday for doing that, just to get it to the point where it's livable. Good morning, Dizzy. You finally made it. So yeah, I'm getting that to the point where we can get up there and live in it. Okay. So I was pricing material for this. Now I had asked the cabin people how much extra it would be for them to put this in. And he said about $2,000. Okay. Now, when I price material, going with a 2x8, not a 2x6, because I'm hoping that's what it's made with, is a 2x8. I can't remember for sure. And I'd have to match what they did. But if it's a 2x8, okay, and if I use OSB for the floor, because plywood is expensive. Even OSB isn't cheap. None of it's cheap. Not one piece of lumber is cheap. Okay. Good morning, Carrie. So that the lumber is going to cost me about $600 to do it myself. So if you've seen some of the stuff I've done in the past, this is not beyond me. I mean, we're talking only a 12-foot wide cabin. And I did seek advice from someone who does this kind of stuff, as a living, so knows. And he assured me that, okay, if I have to go with a 2x6, make it every foot, okay, 1 foot on center. It's better if it's 2x8, and you can do it without additional support. But, that is, a distance. I wouldn't want to do this. Like if I was going to do a 14-foot wide one, that might be a little trickier. And then I would have to get special material. And yes, there's certain types of girders and whatnot that you can get to span a wider area and not have to worry about having to give it support. But 12-foot wide, it can be done. So that's what I'm looking at. My arm was getting tired holding that tablet up. I should have torn the sheet out. So that's what I was doing last night. I'm also looking at insulation. I watched this one video last night. I looked up videos for insulating a cabin. Now, I had already pretty much decided that, let me turn that TV off, that I was going to use 2 types of insulation. I'm going to use that foil-backed bubble wrap type stuff, which the boss of the swamp swears by. Okay. And also the rock wool, rock salt or something like that. It's bugs don't like it, rodents don't like it, and it's moisture resistant. So you don't have to worry about mold. So that would be a really good type of insulation to use. Now, I have seen some people where they use that insulation on the lower half, but then they use a cheaper insulation on the top, because this rock wool is not really all that cheap. I think pink fiberglass is cheaper, but I'm looking at the long term. So that's going to be, I didn't figure out the whole cost to do the whole building, but I am going to be concentrating on, I'll insulate my father's area first and then move out. And of course I have to do the roof. But we're talking a 12x40 cabin. And if I don't get that back room built this year, it's not that big a deal. It just means we'll have a smaller space to heat. And that's not such a bad thing. And as time progresses, if I don't get that room done by this winter, that's okay. I can do it in the spring. Okay. My priorities are going to be to get the cabin set up to where we can live in it. Okay. Which means, first of all, electricity has to be hooked up because I have to be able to put the air conditioners in for my dad. Now, I can put the insulation in, and then I've got a whole bunch of old sheets I'm taking down. I can staple some old sheets on the walls to keep the insulation in and keep the cats out of the insulation so that it looks a little bit better. And until I can get to where I can put some kind of a wall board up there. Okay. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. My brother-in-law is kind of like, it's got to be rock. It's got to be in man, what's it called? Gypsum board. No, that's what they call it up in Canada. What do they call it down here? Isn't it terrible? It slips my mind. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. Dizzy, what do they call the wall board? You know what I mean, right? The band is not terrible. It's right there. I use it all. Sheetrock. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. So I haven't decided if I'm going to use sheetrock or if I'm going to use quarter-inch plywood. Now, of course, wherever there's a heat source, I would not be using plywood. No way, because that's flammable. That's another thing that the rock wool is fire retardant. So that's all good. But I don't have to make that decision right this minute. I can make that decision later. Right. So I get the cabin livable. I'm going to have the electrician put outlets outside on the porch so that I can leave my deep freeze on the porch and running so that I don't have to put it in a smaller space and take more space out of our living space. I'll probably have an outlet inside for the stove and a sink. Well, I can use basins until we get the water hooked up. And I decide on a sink. I'm still looking for a sink. Of course, I'm going to look into the Habitat for Humanity. They have one in Lexington, down there in Kentucky. So I'll be looking there to see what they've got in the way of a sink. I don't know if I can have them call me if something comes in. I don't know if Habitat for Humanity will do that because it's going to be a distance drive to Habitat for Humanity. But the guy that we're getting the cabin through, he said there's another place not far from where his place of business is that sells cheap, not cheap, inexpensive bulk, like clearance type construction stuff. So I will be checking that out because the idea is to do this as cheaply as possible to save money. And say, well, why are you going to do that? Yeah, okay, we've got money set aside, and he's getting money from the 401k, and it's like, here's the deal, people. Uncle Sam. By my husband's calculations, Uncle Sam may be really coming down on us by the end of this year. Just because of the way his income streams have been. This year, we will technically be making more money than we have ever made in our lives. But next year, it's going to be cut to less than half. I'll say we will be down to a third of what we get this year. So we've got to be careful. That's because my husband has retired, and there will be two income streams that he has had this year that he will not have next year. So we've got to really watch that. The most expensive part of everything that I need to have done at this point, I believe, is the electrician. I still haven't had a chance, haven't been able to get hold of him. I got to call him again and see if he'll call me back. I'm sure he's probably busy. This is probably a very busy time of year. So I'm hoping I can get him in there. I mean, I might be able to uh, put outlets in and string the wires. I might be able to manage to do that. But there's no way that I can hook up a people remodel and put their old kitchen for free on Craigslist. There's another website, I think it's called Free Cycle. Yeah, I have been checking out the Craigslist for that particular area of Kentucky I'm going to be moving to. And let's just say does not have as much stuff in it as around here. So I'm not going to be counting on Craigslist as much as I do up here. Not saying I won't check it out. I will check it out. But yeah, we'll see. Hey, if I have to, I'll make my own sink. Yeah, just get a tub. I was looking in the what store was I in yesterday? Some kind, one of those dollar type stores. I think I was in. I don't remember now, but I was in some kind. Oh no, it was a drugstore. Drugstore I was in, and they had a planter. Okay, a big round planter. It was wood look on the outside, like looked like a barrel. And I was like, I'm looking at that. It's like, can I drill a hole in that and make that into a sink? So I've seen other people do that. They get a bowl or something. They're trying to be artsy, and they make it into a sink just to be artsy, So, but me, I'm looking for cheap, functional. I want it to look nice, but at the same time, I've got to really manage my money so we can get through this year. I mean, moving is a big expense. Uh, Buying the land, buying the cabin, and then setting the cabin up. All this takes money. And so I'm trying to be responsible in that way. Now, I don't know if you guys have figured this out, but I'm kind of like so excited. Yes, I know. Almost to the point where I'm almost a little bit nervous about it. But I am a out of the box kind of thinker. I mean, I am like way out of the box. So I'll do just about anything. Um, I have a pallet sitting on my front porch. I need to finish taking apart. It started, but I need to finish taking apart because I like the wood. It's not your typical kind of pallet. It's a different kind of pallet. And I thought the wood looked good. So I'm hoping if I have enough room in the moving truck, I will take that wood with me because I like the looks of it. And I will use that to build whatever. Okay. Because and I've got, oh, excuse me. I got my father-in-law, not my father-in-law. My father gave me tools. My brother-in-law gave me a few tools. Um, I bought a few tools. The only thing I don't have is a table saw. But I'll make do. I'll make do. My brother gave me a chop saw. It's like, yes. Okay, so I should be able to do a lot. And there are certain things that's going to be more difficult. But I think I can get one of those long metal T-square things that will help when it comes to using the circular saw. And you can, from what I can see, you can hide a multitude of sins with trim, and you can get trim. So we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, that's the cabin. Now, I was looking at the property from another aerial, and I don't know where they get this aerial from. I couldn't zoom in too tight because then it got too pixelated, so it's definitely an older one. But it shows the property. It's old. It's the oldest aerial that I've seen so far. Okay. Um, the newest aerial, which is from the real estate company, it showed just a dirt pad where the house used to be, and some debris over in the ravine, and they showed the pond, and some trails through. Okay, it showed that, but an earlier one showed the house and what looked like some kind of a barn or something that was at least as big square footage wise as the house was, maybe even a little bit bigger. But it looked like there was like some kind of framework on the one part, and the other part had tin roof. I said, okay, well, that's interesting. I wonder why. Well, this older aerial showed, this was really interesting, the house and that building with tin roof the whole way. Well, now, isn't that interesting? And not only that, but it also showed what looked like a garden plowed just north of the cabin, I mean, of the house. It's like, so somebody did have a garden there. I suspected when I was there in my video, you see, I think that maybe somebody might have had a garden over in that way, just some things. It's like from that aerial, it looks like they might very well have had, because it was like plowed, like you could tell how a farmer field is. Okay, it kind of looked that way. And they also showed a clearing south of the house. It's like, well, now, isn't that interesting? And they showed a lot more cars, vehicles by the house. It's like, okay, okay. Because there was a lot of overgrowth when I was there looking at it. And so um, I couldn't really tell. I did not get into the all the high plants and whatnot because ticks have been so bad this year. So I mean, even though I tried to avoid areas like that, we still got some ticks. You know, it was I figured we were going to, but anyway. So I was so it's very possible I can not plant, park more vehicles than what I initially thought. I mean, there is a bit of a slope there. I don't know. I got to figure this out, but I do know that I want to have. If you could, I don't know if you can tell my video or not. Like I said, I know that that's not a very good video, but there's when you come in the driveway, and that's a bit of a downslope. Then there's the area where you can park, and then there's where it goes up and around and onto the old foundation seat. And I took the truck up to see if I could actually do it. And yeah, I can. Now, my husband's car will not do it. Okay, there's no way. I think he would bottom out because it's just a little rinky dink thing. Um, but my Pathfinder, I believe I can do that. And that's the vehicle that I drive my father in, because my father, there's no way he can fit in my husband's car. There's just no way. So my Pathfinder, being a four-wheel drive, it can very easily get up there. Okay, so that's what I'm looking to do, and there should be enough space there where I can pull up and park, and then back out and come down. That's how I'm going to be planning it anyway. Um, Now, Of course, after the priority of getting our living situation taken care of so that my father's comfortable, then um, my next priority is structure for honey. Okay. Um, After looking at that aerial, I'm wondering if there is enough debris, leftover stuff down there, because it's obvious that the bank that owned it did not go down and try and clean it up. They didn't do any cleaning up. Okay. But if I can get down there and see what there is in the way of material, maybe I can repurpose that, recycle, reuse, the whole thing, um, to build a run in for honey and whatever other livestock I plan on getting, so that I have shelter so I can get her down there sooner rather than later. It's a possibility if I can at least get the roofing material, because that I think is going to be the biggest mistake, biggest expense is the roofing. Now I do have a plan that I was trying to teach myself SketchUp, which is a drafting program. Coming from using AutoCAD to SketchUp, there is a bit of a learning curve because you have to unlearn AutoCAD and relearn SketchUp. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but I managed to do this plan for a run-in that had like a storage area in the back end, but it was designed to be on a hill so that the run-in was down here and the storage area was up here. And it just so happens that this where I want to put it, there seems to be a slope that goes down like that. Dizzy, is that you texting me? Somebody just sent me a text. Sorry, guys. Yep. Oh. Well, she says I'm offline, so I don't know why. Probably something to do with my internet. Let me see. I am still recording, so at least I'm doing that. Let me see here. There we go. All right. Let me see here. Okay. You need to regen. Hit F5. Okay. All right. You still there, Carrie? I checked my internet connection. I think I might have gone off for a second and came back on. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. So Dizzy was having issues. So hopefully I just sent her a text telling her to hit F5. Because I have that here sometimes, especially in the evening, where I'll be watching a live stream and my internet just can't handle it for whatever reason. It just depends on how many people are using it, I guess. And I'll have to refresh it. So anyways, I figure even if there's not enough usable debris, because who knows how old that building was and how long it's been falling down and fallen down now. But if I don't have enough there usable to build something for a horse or larger livestock, I ought to be able to find enough, I hope, to build a chicken coop. Okay. So I can get some chickens. That's my hope. And that will save me some money. Uh, now, that's one thing I can find up here in New Jersey is I can find people. Hi, Dizzy. How nice of you to join us. So, like I was saying, um, up here in New Jersey on the free section of Craigslist, I can find all kinds of these wooden um, children's swing sets for free. People just want them gone. Kids are grown or they use them. It's like they just want them gone. And there's still some usable lumber on there. Okay. And it's pressure treated. And some of them are long beams. So up here, I can get that. Down there, I have not seen one. I have not seen one. I don't think it's as common. So if I could get that, I could use that for building material, for structural material. But I'm like not going to count on it. So, we'll see. Uh, I can, the biggest problem is going to be um, getting the posts for the support of the run in. I forget now how many I had in there, but I had them. So that may be the most expensive part. And I can do, if I can get the basic frame up, I can wall it in with just about anything. I have seen some used lumber, one ad down there in Kentucky on Craigslist, but I haven't seen a lot. So who knows what will be made available once I get there. One day at a time, one step at a time. Okay, just doing it as I can. I just keep my eyes and ears open. One thing I think we're going to have to seriously look into is getting a pickup truck. My husband's car is, I've been trying to get him to consider selling it. Like I've told him that it's going to cost us almost $200 to tow it down there because we have to rent a dolly. And we're getting a little bit of a discount because we have AAA. But still, it's about $200 to rent a dolly to tow his car down. His car, I don't think is worth it. It's a 2001. It's very old, and the air conditioning doesn't work, and it's missing a side mirror, and it's like, but he has a hard time parting with things. Right, Dizzy? He has a really hard time parting with things. So, if we get a pickup truck, at least then we wouldn't have to just simply depend um, on my Pathfinder to transport my father, because my father would be able to get into a pickup truck. At least a 1500, and that's what we would need. I'm going back and forth as to whether to get a 1500 or 2500. Mainly because we would, if that's going to be a towing vehicle, it would need the power to be able to get up some of those hills. So I have to talk to somebody who knows that a little bit better than I do. Of course, 2500, no problem. It would help tow anything just about. Call pickup trucks a UTE? Boy, that's different. I would never figure that one out. Is that because it's like a utility vehicle or something? Dizzy carries from Australia. Or no, is it Australia or New Zealand? You're down there somewhere. So I said, Australia. That's right. Okay, I was right the first time. Yeah. She's from down under. I said, it's too bad that I can't hear you in the chat because I love the Australian accent. But you know what? I love the Kentucky accent as well. I hear footsteps. I think it's my son. If he's up this early, he must have to go to work today. My son doesn't get up this early. He must have to go to, boy, he's working a lot this week. I guess that's good. So, so anyway, so yeah, so those are my plans. Don't know about other brands, but Dodge has a 1500 that has a bigger engine. It's still half pickup, but is cheaper, etc., than a 2500. Yeah, well, yeah, 1500 is cheaper than 2500, of course. But I'm just not sure about 1500's towing capability for towing a horse trailer with 2 horses minimum up a hill. So that's my concern. I mean, can they handle it? I don't know. I have to talk to somebody that knows. 2500, I know can handle it. No problem. 1500, I'm not sure. And the little like S10 size trucks, there is no way. Absolutely not. There's just no point in even wasting my time with one of those. So, but hopefully I can find a good deal down there. I'm not going to be rushing into it. I just kind of keep some money aside and just keep my eyes and ears open for a good deal. Yeah, you did. But how did it survive? Eh, some of the hills in Kentucky, I make New Holland's, make Lancaster's hills look like flatland. You need to go and get feed, or will they deliver? That I don't know. I can get feed in my Pathfinder. I've done that before. That's not a big deal. Also, with honey, I don't need feed. My biggest thing is going to be hay. I'm going to have to find a hay supplier that will deliver until I can get a pickup truck. And that's another thing. I have to have someplace to store hay before I get honey up there. So, and hopefully I won't need a lot of hay because they have a milder winter and typically a shorter winter. So if I can get away with just 3 months worth of hay, I should be fine. And that's not that much. My hay is cheaper down there too than it is up here. And the bigger engine gives you more towing capabilities. Yeah, well, I'll look into it. I mean, it kind of depends on what's available at the time. Hello, Angel. She's making an appearance. There must be something outside that she thinks is of interest. Angel, what are you looking at, cat? You're messing up my camera shot. Goofy cat. You say good morning. She says, whatever. It's more interesting to look outside. She's turned out to be a good cat. So I look at trucks. I look for the Dodge with the bigger engine. Yeah, well, you really like Dodges. I'm not totally sold on the Dodges. Their bodies seem to rust out quickly, and their paint work isn't so good. But then again, looking, the paint on my Pathfinder is starting to peel, and I think maybe it's because of where I'm living. Maybe they don't suffer so much from Kentucky weather and conditions, because we have a lot of refineries, chemical type things going on here. And so maybe things aren't so hard on vehicles down there. They don't have to use as much salt on the roads. Like they're constantly brining the roads up here. So maybe we'll have to see. Some of these things I don't know until I get down there. So I was looking today, and it's like, okay, I've got the books pretty much, they're boxed. And I'm looking, okay, what in my kitchen can I get away with not having available? I can pack away. And I'm looking, okay, I've got a set of mixing bowls. I could probably pack those. I don't need all of my casserole dishes. So I can pack that kind of stuff. Pie plates, I don't need pie plates. So I can pack those away. I've got some dishes that I may not, I'm having to decide whether or not I'm going to take them. They're the Rachel Ray dishes that were for free at Acme or something like that. And they're big and they're clunky. And it's like, do I want to bother packing those and taking them? We don't really use them. So I'm debating on that. So, and as to utensils, well, I've got more sharp knives than what I use every day. I think I can probably pack some of those away and manage with just a few select knives that I use all the time. There's some glasses and some mugs yet that I want to keep. I can pack those away. So I'm looking at all this. I'm trying to use out of my pantry so that I'm not going to have to worry about that. There's some stuff I'm going to have to get rid of because I don't think we'll be able to use it all. And of course, winter clothes. I've got winter coats already packed, and I've got some winter clothes I'm going to be packing up, I think, a little bit better. Right now, I've got them in a bin, but I think I could use those bins for something else. So I may repack those into a box. And I have to go through my father's things and sort out what he actually needs and what he doesn't. He's got a lot of old paperwork I need to go through. I did go through some last week, and I got rid of about half of it. Some of it I needed. I found my power of attorney. So I've got that. Now I know exactly where that is. And there's other things I need to downsize. And my husband still has to finish his room. He's not exactly a go-getter. So I'm hoping he gets a little bit more energetic when we get down there. But I've already figured that I will probably be doing the lion's share of the work. And that's okay. Because for that first, I can see him waiting until you're ready to leave to pack. Yeah, well, there's still going to have to be some packing. Excuse me. I'm hoping I can get some young volunteers to help load the truck. I'm hoping to have as much stuff packed as possible. I'm not sure about packing those TVs though. But once I get most of the stuff packed, and I rented a 16-foot truck, and I went with that rather than a 12-footer because 16-foot and the 12-footer were both the same price. It's like, okay, well, I guess we might as well go with a 16-footer. It's like, I was thinking a 12-footer would be easy for me to drive on those hills, but a lot of it also depends on the load. And seeing as I'm trying to downsize as much of the load as I can, Like the living room furniture, I'm not taking the end tables. I'm not taking the chairs. I wasn't going to take the futon, but I may end up taking it now. We'll see if there's room on the truck. That's because my son wants it for a bed. So, okay, fine. No problem. I'll do that if it'll fit on the truck. And I'm taking the rocking chair. Um, Only taking the dining room table if it will fit. If it doesn't fit, it gets left behind because it's heavy and it's not in the best shape. I mean, I had to replace the top, and I just cut a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and that's the tabletop. So I'm not concerned if it doesn't go. That can stay behind. I've got a couple of cabinets. The microwave is not going. It's a big old clunky thing, and it is not going. Uh, my toaster oven's not going because it's on its way out. It's almost dead. I've still been able to use it, but the toaster dial is starting to not function right. I mean, it was my mother's toaster oven, and she's been gone since '99. So that's almost 20 years she's been gone. And it was hers, and I don't know how long she had it for. So it's been a great toaster oven, and it's worked well for us. And we have really used it because when my stove died, that is what I used. I mean, we were a small family. I didn't need a big oven. I couldn't cook a turkey, but I could cook a small roast or a small chicken in it. It was big enough for that. Not a big chicken, but a small chicken I could do. So, it was fine for us, and it worked well. It was not only a toaster, but also an oven, and I could bake or broil in it. So the hardest part was finding uh, cookware that would fit in it. But most of my casserole dishes would fit in it, so I could cook a casserole dish. Okay, so it has served me well over the years, and I think we will just give it a decent burial when we go to move. So I will be taking the refrigerator. I will be taking the stove. So and the deep freeze. That's 3 appliances that I will be taking. So they'll take up a good amount. And there's another large item that I will be taking. As to furniture, my dad's bed will be going, and this futon for my son, and then that's it. The other beds will not be going. They're not worth taking. So I will probably be building beds. Mattresses will sit on a floor if necessary. And yes, I'm looking for affordable mattresses for my husband and I. If worse comes to worse, air mattresses are cheap, and we'll sleep on those until I find something. So, yeah, I looked at the rope beds, and I don't know if I could get them tight enough. Of course, I do have a wire puller. I wonder if that would work. But if you're using a 2x4, that's soft wood, and that would mar if I used Of course, I could always put a block in there and do it that way. I don't know. And the rope does eventually give out. Yeah, I've got a couple of old mattresses up in the attic that were my sister's, and I need to try them out and see if they hold air. If they don't, they're trash. If they do, then we'll take those and we'll use those. See how long they'll work for. Uh, so, um, yeah, it's like you do what you got to do until you can afford to do better, right? And that's what I'm planning on doing. Um, what do you need? You need shelter, you need heat, and you need water. Well, I got the shelter taken care of. We'll have electric hooked up, and we've got 2 electric heaters, and I have a kerosene heater. And I've used the kerosene heater here with this big house. So I'm sure that kerosene heater will bake us out of that small place. And yeah, they do sell kerosene down there, and it's cheaper than what they sell for up here. I've seen kerosene. So yeah, I have no problems getting kerosene down there. I just gotta remember where I saw that they had kerosene. Don't remember which station it was. So, uh, so almost done coffee. It's getting close to that time. And I'm just thinking of all that I need to do. I need to do dishes and get that done. See, if I'm not home, nobody does dishes. So Saturday I wasn't home. Sunday we weren't home because we had the Father's Day thing. And then yesterday I was out doing laundry. So now when I got home, I got most of the dishes done, but I still had some left over from yesterday that I need to do. And I also have last night's dishes. Like I said in one of my um, dishwashing talks, I don't do dishes at night. I know there are people who, cannot stand to have dirty dishes in the sink at night. They go to bed with dirty dishes in the sink. I'm sorry. I am not a night person. I am a morning person. And it's like, I cannot stand having to deal with dirty dishes at night. So my dishes, I have come the morning, I can face them, no problem. I can get them whipped up and get them out of here. So my dishes get done in the morning. You know, I get the food put away and I have things soaking that need to be soaked. But I do my dishes in the morning. I just cannot face them at night. By the time dinner is done and everything's taken, I just no. I that's not me. And that would be a clue as to why I do a morning uh, live show, because hardly anybody is up this early. Is that better? There you go. I should have done that sooner. Yeah, hardly anybody is up this early, let alone to watch me. So it's like I do it because this is my time in the morning. I'm not an evening person. I may be doing an interview with another YouTube channel, and that will be an evening interview, and I'm hoping I can manage to do it. So I've got to finish our conversation. I've been so busy with trying to get things finalized with the property and everything. So, excuse me. So, anyways, ladies, I hope that you have a good morning. Oh, somebody else has joined us this morning. I wonder who is the early bird. Am I starting to convert people into being early birds? You know what they say, early bird catches the worm. Well, now they're gone. Short-lived. I guess I'm not much to look at. And right now, there isn't much to look at. And I mean, bear in mind, I'm getting ready to move. Yeah, I could set up a space and I have something pretty on the wall, maybe a little bit better. But but it's like everything's getting packed up. My pictures are all being packed up. Everything is being packed up. If it's not being used, it's getting packed or gotten rid of, one or the other. So yeah, I'm not going to have anything to show to dress up my background or anything like that. You're stuck with me in the boring, ugly orange curtain and a ugly futon. It's a futon. It's not even very comfortable. My son wants it. It's definitely not comfortable. So, I mean, even the futon is not anything to look at. But anyways, well, ladies, it is time for me to say goodbye and to get to work. My coffee's about done. That's it. It's gone. So that means it is time to say good morning for Dizzy and good night to Carrie. And have a good day. I'll see y'all later.